Well, good afternoon, and thank you all for coming here today as we make a very important announcement in our collective efforts to end homelessness in San Diego. I want to particularly thank our Council President Todd Gloria and Council Member David Alvarez for being here and their continued leadership on behalf of our city. I also want to thank Rick Gentry with the San Diego Housing Commission for helping us to get to where we are today. Today we're also joined by several Barrio Logan community leaders. Rachel Ortiz, who is our Executive Director at Barrio Station. Tim Frazier, who is the Director of Community and Government Relations at Family Health Centers. Karen Garcia Verbunen, District Administrator for the Barrio Logan Maintenance Assessment District. And Marcos Aguilar, Vice President of the Barrio Logan Association. One of my top priorities as mayor is to create more opportunities for San Diegans. And today, we are announcing an initiative that will provide more effective and compassionate care for homeless individuals and veterans and solve a problem that has plagued our communities for far too long. So I think many of you know, every winter, the city struggles to find a location to shelter the homeless during the cold and rainy months, inevitably closing down a parking lot or a street to set up a temporary tent. And every winter, residents, businesses, and families have to grapple with those impacts in terms of interacting with people who are just trying to find help and care. Ladies and gentlemen, we shouldn't have to shelter people in outdoor tents when it's raining outside. San Diego is a great city, full of great compassion. We can and we will do better than this. So I'm proud to announce that together we are charting a new path. Starting today, the City of San Diego and the San Diego Housing Commission are asking homeless service providers to submit proposals for a permanent, year-round housing facility for homeless adults. This will provide overnight shelter in a safe, clean environment with services for at least 350 men and women on a nightly basis. The permanent shelter will also provide supportive services to help them stabilize their lives and, most importantly, transition to permanent housing, which is, of course, the ultimate goal. These 350 beds will replace the emergency homeless tent in Barrio Logan and the veterans tent in the Midway District. We're going to take the money that the city currently spends on those tents and put it towards this new permanent facility. Including some one-time costs in this year's budget for homelessness, that's approximately $1.6 million that will be available annually for this new project going forward. And this initiative is just the latest change to how the city cares for our homeless neighbors. We're shifting to results-driven programs with emphasis on results that provide opportunities and help our fellow San Diegans permanently get off the streets. And as many of you know, earlier this year, we chose to make a significant shift in how we spend taxpayer money to help fight homelessness. We reallocated funding to better connect homeless individuals and families with the services that they need. This includes job training, healthcare, housing, and counseling for mental health and substance abuse problems. And today's announcement, I believe, is a huge step further in that direction. And we hope to have the permanent facility up and running by July 1st. This has been a collective effort to get us to where we are today, and I'm so fortunate, as I said, to have the leadership, not of our council members Alvarez and Council President Gloria, but everyone here from the Housing Commission and our residents in Barrio Logan. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to my friend and colleague, Council President Todd Gloria.
Excuse me. Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Pleased to be here with our mayor and Councilmember Alvarez, as well as the San Diego Housing Commission, to make this announcement. As the mayor stated, the city is doing business differently when it comes to addressing homelessness. We're taking a hard look at what is working to solve this problem around the country, and then realigning our homeless programs to support the Housing First model, permanent supportive housing, and coordinated assessment and housing placement system. Today's announcement is another big step towards this system's change and an important strategic investment toward ending homelessness in San Diego. The shelter has traditionally played a critical role in the provision of homeless services in the San Diego region, providing a safe space and a roof over the heads of some of our most vulnerable neighbors during the coldest and wettest months of the year. This emergency facility continues to be service a tremendous need. However, what we saw year after year were the same faces at the tent, cycling in and out of homelessness, even after the shelter remained open year-round, and folks were staying for several months at a time, more time instead of transitioning out and getting back on their feet. That's why this year I put forward a plan to reallocate the city's homeless funding towards results-oriented programs and critical program enhancements to more effectively and permanently end homelessness. And with this shared goal, the mayor included $1.9 million in the city's annual budget, which included reallocated funding for an enhanced winter shelter program. With this new program, the tent is currently operating with a system-wide coordinated approach toward ending homelessness. Homeless individuals now enter the shelter only by referral from one of our integrated outreach network and at San Diego Police Department Homeless Outreach Team. This is very different from the previous approach of queuing on the street and a lottery system for access to the tent. With the referral, homeless individuals are assessed using a system-wide tool to determine their vulnerability and service prioritization. This helps our outreach workers determine the most appropriate housing intervention for the program participants and ensures that we're serving the most vulnerable individuals at that emergency tent, often the individuals that are costing the taxpayers the very most. This is a national best practice, and around the country, communities are now being required by the federal government to utilize a common mechanism for individual assessment and coordinated access to services when engaging the homeless. Once referred to the shelter, the client is connected to supportive services and case management to help identify a permanent housing opportunity and address wraparound needs to get them off the streets permanently. And this year, the shelter stays are limited to 45 days so that we can continue to provide emergency service needs through triage beds to our homeless outreach team to utilize. But these 45 days also involve services to ensure that the clients have a permanent solution to transition to at the end of their stay. The tent is now successfully operating to provide short-term shelter, housing navigation, and supportive services to homeless adults to help them stabilize their lives and exit to permanent housing. This investment has increased the opportunities for homeless San Diegans residing at the shelter to be placed in more stable and permanent housing so that we can end the cycle of homelessness that so many of our neighbors experience. This approach has allowed the city to do more with the limited dollars that we have while supporting a coordinated approach to ending homelessness. And now enhancing how the shelter program operates, it is clear that this triage and assessment program is an essential component to the overall coordinated approach needed to end homelessness. And that's why I'm excited about this RFP for a permanent year-round indoor interim housing facility. This next step will formalize this critical program and ensure the sustainability of San Diego's coordinated assessment and housing placement system. It is making permanent what we've already started to see show results. So as we continue to focus on our collaborative efforts and regional funding toward a proven successful housing first model, I'm confident that San Diegans will see additional significant progress in this area. With that, it's now my pleasure to turn it over to our council member who is currently has the tent in his district and knows firsthand the impacts that it may have. And I want to applaud Councilmember Alvarez for always being a wonderful voice for helping to ensure that we're ending homelessness in our community. Councilmember Alvarez.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Mayor, as well. For the past 4 years, as the city has put the shelter in the community of Barrio Logan, no real effort has been made to find a different site or to implement a permanent indoor homeless shelter. That ends today. To replace the temporary beds that are in tents with an actual structure. As I've stated before, this annual action of erecting a tent in the middle of the street on a temporary basis is extremely flawed. For all the reasons that the Council President just described and the Mayor as well, the approach was the wrong one. The approach is changing, and that's a good thing, especially for the community. The continued reliance on the 16th and Newton site has become a crutch, an excuse to pretend that putting up a tent in the middle of the street for a couple of months will solve this problem. I was very proud of the community who came forward a couple of months ago, and very proud of my council colleagues when they supported the proposal to eliminate Barrio Logan as a location for a temporary shelter and move to a real effort to make a permanent shelter a reality. This RFP is a welcome first step, and it is encouraging to learn that there is no longer a barrier to creating a permanent indoor, year-round homeless shelter. I'm looking forward to working with all stakeholders towards that outcome in the months to come. And once again, I want to thank the members of the community who were present at the vote at the City Council, who really made a difference and have helped push this issue along the way. As I said then, and I'll say again, people in the community are compassionate and passionate about this issue, but we want to see it get resolved, and this is definitely a step in the right direction. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Thank you, Councilmember Alvarez. Next, I'd like to introduce Rick Gentry, who will give us some of the specifics about the RFP. Rick?
Thank you, Mayor Faulkner. And my function this afternoon is to talk about process. This morning, the San Diego Housing Commission posted on our website a request for proposals titled "The City of San Diego's Interim Housing Program for Homeless Adults." After we review these proposals, and we hope to see creative ideas to address the homelessness issue from best practices with experienced social services providers, we will then make a recommendation. The facility, I will note, must have 24-hour residential services and staffing, and we're looking for proposals that will help participants exit into permanent supportive housing. The next step for interested parties, other than, of course, reading the request for proposals on the website, is a meeting that for prospective respondees that the Housing Commission is scheduled for our offices on December the 16th, and the exact time and location for that would be noticed on our website as well. After reviewing proposals post January 13, we expect to make an announcement of a selection in February. One of our priorities, I will point out, is going to be program readiness. We're looking to move quickly with the start date as early as July the 1st, 2015. As has been mentioned already today, the estimated funding for the first year of this program is a bit more than $1.6 million, and the funding will be both federal from Community Development Block Grants and the Emergency Solutions Grants, which come to the city from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and also some money from the city's own coffers. I would recommend that anyone who is interested, respondents, should check the request for proposal for more information and to contact our office as noted there. The website address is www.sdhc for San Diego Housing Commission. I'll repeat, sdhc.org, and it's on the home page of that website. We look forward to the proposals coming in. We will look forward to making a selection and recommendation to the city in January or early February. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick, and thank you for all the help and all the great work that you and your team continue to do over at the Housing Commission. Thank you again to our community leaders who are here from Barrio Logan. Councilmember Alvarez, sir, for your continued leadership. Thank you. It's been absolutely essential. And our Council President, Gloria, this has been a team effort and continues to be a team effort over the last year and a half as we've sought to making sure that we're actually getting the results that all of us want and that our neighbors expect and deserve.